put your feet up and enjoy. I'll be ready with some cake. We must be nearly there, mustn't we?
Yes.
Have to work by the script, of course.
No?
I said I have to work by the script, of course. Well done.
Oh, very
Let's go live on Facebook. We're now right here on live. It's wonderful. Just leaving talking.
No?
Just leaving talking.
Well, lifts the energies, doesn't it?
Yeah, we do what we're meant to do. We're a church, bringing people together.
Exactly, it's a
What's the
social
problem with
event.
that? Exactly.
Sometimes.
Eh?
Because she was doing that, I was thinking, she's got what I've got. It's relaxed, isn't it? It's relaxed.
You don't want to break up your conversations because you're all having such a lovely time. And I just said to the lovely Roy, to me this is what church is about. People coming together, talking and enjoying each other's company. So, hello everybody. How are we? All ready for the holidays and everything? No, yeah, all right. We won't go there.
Don't rush it.
We're not going there. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Spiritual cafe night. As you can see, very informal night. Just be comfortable. You know, we're all talking with each other. We've got a lovely gentleman to talk with us tonight, Mr. Roy Mackay. He's moved down to Paul to retire, and we've not let that happen. But Roy, thank you very much for being
My
part
pleasure,
of
always
tonight.
my pleasure.
The rough topic of tonight is about energies, because we're always talking about energies now. We're hearing this a lot more in demonstrations, in conversations and things. So it's just a little chance for people to talk and get a better grip, because we are really bad with our lingo in spiritualism and spirituality. We say things and we never really explain, and people in the conversation go, oh yeah, and walk away going, what are they talking about? I have no idea. So as I said, tonight we're just talking about energies. Any questions? Roy's got 400 pages to share with you. So
I'll settle for the 4.
4. Hiya, you alright darling? You alright mister? We'll sit at one of the tables, help yourself, tea, coffee. You can even have a cake if you want. Alright? Yeah, come on in, join people.
You're not allowed to sit on your own.
Yeah, no, we don't do that in this church. Yeah?
Just be comfortable.
Yeah.
Put your feet up.
You alright, young man? Good stuff.
He's interested in seeing the cat.
Actually, that works in nicely with tonight's topic. Roy, sir, can I hand over to you?
You can.
To have a chat.
You can.
Thank
by
you.
all means.
Don't forget, everybody, this is an interactive session. All right, you're not being lectured. If anything comes up in the conversation, pop your hand up. All right, because we need to be able to talk. It's the whole idea of these nights, is that we talk, and through that our knowledge and understanding grows. Okay, so over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, friends. Sorry, I didn't hear that. Good evening, friends. Thank you. Thank you. Otherwise, I feel like I'm going down the plug hole before we start. Yes, I have got notes here. The reason being is I've had a couple of days of not doing too well. I'm feeling better today, but my mind is like a sieve. I keep trying to learn what I'm going to say, and then the next time I go back to the paperwork, it's gone. So I'm going to have to work from it. But yeah, I mean, Laurie is so right. We talk to each other within the spiritual organisation, for want of a better word, spiritual family. And so many times people hear us saying, oh yeah, well the energies weren't that good, or the energies weren't this. And so, you all kind of think, that's energy for you. You all kind of think, well, what the hell are they talking about? They must be on a different plane. This is why it's so hard for us to understand. This is why mediums and people that work with this are so different. Well, we're not. You see, we're all exactly the same. There's nothing that Laurie does and I don't do that's not the same as what you do and don't do. Yeah, well, we've got to give that a little bit. Yeah. But, I mean, when you think of energies, in my mind, the first thing I think of is, well, what are the energies that are around me? And if you were talking to somebody that didn't understand it, they would say, well, I've got the light switch, and I've got the cooker, and I get up in the morning and I put the coffee on. And it's like, yeah, similar thing. The energies are still there to promote. So it promotes the coffee, it promotes your breakfast and everything else like that. But that is the first thing people think of, is that we have to plug in. Well, to a degree, we do have to plug in. And it's not a hard thing to do. Basically, we all have chakras or psychic centres throughout our bodies, and we use them. And when people learn how to use them, things improve. You can work better, you can work more casual, but you get the information that you want. Excuse me, going, friend. As I say, maybe it's the light switch, it might be putting on the kettle, etc. But do you know what? The most important energy is in here. Your most important energy is your life energy. Some call it the soul energy, some call it the spirit energy, but it is an energy that is with us all the time, from the moment we are born to the moment we are gone from this material earth. And when we say that, it does not mean it ends when we pass over. You cannot destroy the light that is within you. You cannot destroy it, you cannot cut it dead. What you can do is you can actually damage it, believe it or not. I kind of think of it as like a white power. And when you do something against your chakras, when you do something against yourself, against anybody else, it's like you get a bit of a stain on that perfect white energy. But we think of the other energies, the other power energies, the energies that are universal. We've got the energies of the Earth's core. I mean, God forbid that ever packs up, because we'll all be in trouble. We've also got the Earth spinning on its axis. We've got the heat of the sun, the light of the moon. All these energies we tend to forget about. But we know that when we are in the sun, for those that enjoy it, when you're in the sun, you feel good, you feel happy. When you are in the light of the moon, you feel happy, you feel at peace. And we have to remember that these energies are there, along with the weather, along with rivers, the sea, streams. Everything has a power, everything has an energy to it. But when we work the way we need to work with those of the spirit world, we're working close to home. This life energy or soul energy, it can be translated in so many ways. But when you are using these energies, when you are in the sun, when you are with the moon, it can be transported into consciousness, spirit awareness. It's your life. It helps you feel happy and healthy. Now, I'm sure most people here know about the chakras. Is there anybody who doesn't know where the chakras are or what they are?
Don't be shy. Nobody knows.
That's okay.
Yeah, if you don't know, just be honest.
The chakras are just your psychic centres. We always see them as running directly through. Sorry? Directly through the centre of the body. You right?
Yeah.
Okay. But because of these energies, you are an infinite being. You will carry on that energy from this world into the next world, and so on and so on and so on, because the soul doesn't die, the energy doesn't die. It cannot be destroyed. And yet, as I said, it is fragile to a degree. And we have to remember that in energy, there is positivity and there is negativity. If we do things right, it affects us in a good way. If we do things that are offensive to ourselves and to others, it's not so good. And sometimes that is when we can feel that we are not 100% in our health as well. As I said, you've got so many different levels within the power system, but we're just going to talk about basically the 7, or close to the 7 as we can. The chakras that we have, sorry, I've lost my place, beg your pardon. Okay, sorry. In order to protect your spiritual energy, it is worth spending a few moments explaining. If you can imagine that these energies that work from your chakras are there within you, they are woven within you and around your physical body. It's an energetic body made up of the highest vibrations. The highest vibrations of energy that we cannot generally see, but this energy field that surrounds your body is called the aura. I'm sure we all understand what there is to do with the aura and how it works. And through the aura is connected the body with the 7 energy centres, better known as your chakras, or some people call it chakras. So other people call the energy prana. Different countries, different cultures see it in different ways, but they all see it there. And these energies move through the chakras just like water flows through pipes. And all the time that is flowing, it keeps the balance within yourself, within your soul. And I always like to think of it as when we've got this going on inside us, these colours, these lights, I like to think of it as like looking at a map. And you can see on the map that you've got the motorway colour, you've got the A roads, the B roads and everything else like that. They're all intertwined, they're all crossing each other. That's the way I like to see the chakras. That's the way I imagine the chakras within myself. I mean, you've probably got your own way of imagining it, and that's fine, because you should have your own way of imagining it. Sorry, it's just this throat.
That's right. You're doing well.
Sorry, I really am struggling with this. Yeah, we need to protect our soul energy as best we can, and there are various tools and techniques that we have used for numerous years that will help shield the soul energy as well as cleanse and re-energize. You probably already have your own style, such as meditation, breathing exercises, and more. Now, you might think that a breathing exercise is like, where does that come in? Why would we use breathing? When you're struggling, when you're anxious, when anything happens, people always say to you, breathe, just breathe. And when you do, you actually feel that calmness coming in you, because you are bringing the life back and the light back into the chakras that you're using. All the ancient spiritual practices of the world ultimately call on us to love. Love is the most powerful energy that exists. When we express our love, even through kindness and compassion, the general love of each other, it radiates out from us, not only into the people and the world around us, but far into the universe. It's a bit hard to comprehend, isn't it, that love thought of thinking about somebody maybe across the world, in the Ukraine or in Israel, and when you are sending something through a thought, it is an energy, and you are sending that energy to these people. You are a part of what is going on in their lives. You are giving them strength through your strength and your power to get through what they're getting through, which basically is horrific. And as I say, when you feel positive, your loving aura is vibrant and strong. Negativity is automatically deflected. Your heart is your superpower when it comes to. So if you think about it, that if you're placing this thought of you, that you've got these energies there and you're bringing the positive into your life, you are bringing the positivity into your spirituality, you are allowing yourself to be the spirit you are and give and give and give, whether it's your thoughts, your love, or in any other way, you are actually helping yourself so much. But any negativity that comes towards you will be deflected. And, you know, some people say when they protect themselves, they like to see themselves in a bubble or an egg or anything that they can just see themselves enclosed away from anything that they feel is upsetting them. And we teach this also when we are teaching in the schools of learning, the circles and things like that. We teach people to protect themselves, to make sure that they know that they are secure and happy in what they're doing. But as I say, it's a very powerful thing. So is prayer. Prayer is also very, very powerful. I find the Lord's Prayer absolutely amazing. Having worked in Spirit Rescue in one or two not so nice conditions, and having to kind of, shall we say, fall back on the Lord's Prayer, for want of a better way of putting it, that prayer has come up trumps, because our faith is strong, because our energies are strong as well. So we always teach people to protect yourselves. Why? Because there are different levels of life. There are those in the spirit world that come through in love and peace. Sometimes there are those in the spirit world that just want to have a little bit of a game. They want to come in and disrupt a few things. And once you let them in, it's very hard to keep them out. And this is why when the medium works, it's not only the energies from those in the congregation and the energies of the medium, it's the energies from the universal side of things. And when we are working, those that come in, plus your guide, helpers, they will surround you in energy. That is your protective energy. That is your energy that does not allow anything to come through that shouldn't come through. And if anybody has been in a circle and has been tested, because the spirit world will test you, especially while you're learning, if you've ever been tested, you will know what it feels like to suddenly feel something's not quite right. How do I deal with this? So that protection is around you all the time. If you feel worried walking down the street at night in the dark, ask for that protection. Place yourself in that protection. Wherever you are, if you're in a car and you're speeding down the road and you think, oh, I wish this guy had slowed down, you can just, again, ask for that cloak of protection around you, that egg, that bubble, in order to help you through things. It's very easy to just work from these pieces of paper, but it's more a case of experiencing it for yourselves. These energies, as I say, they're used for so many things. How many of you here are healers? And do you use your protection regularly? Anybody else here? Okay. Would you feel naked if you didn't protect yourself? Okay. And then you are allowing your own energies to raise, because then everything is radiated towards you. And that's a nice gentle feeling. And you know what? With another power with energies that are given to you for healing and for all other things. I don't know if you've ever tried this, and maybe you try it with the person next to you or whatever, but if you place your hand above the hand of somebody else and you move that hand down slowly, do not touch the hand, but let it go down slowly, you will feel that heat grow, because that is energy. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that is not very well that you do it with, because all you are doing is feeling the energies that you have and the energies that the person you are connecting with. Again, when we work with you know, all sorts of things really, but mainly working up here, the energies mean so much to us, and it's the psychic energies that matter. Years ago, when I was first learning, I can remember being told, when you have finished here tonight, we close down all the chakras. Everybody here closes their chakras down. Okay? That is a different kettle of fish these days. And it always felt wrong at the time. You always felt that you needed that flow going through you all the time. So when you used to question But what happens if you shut down? You lose all these energies. You know, you lose the vibrations that you need to survive in this world. You need that love that's coming in from the spirit world. And you still get the same, no, this is how you protect yourself. Well, obviously, if you see today, if you tend to close down every time you do something, boy, it's going to be tiring, it's going to be monotonous. Because you would need to close down every time you had a quick conversation with somebody about spiritual things, every time you spoke about healing or connecting with people, you would be opening yourself up anyway. So it's almost like the energies are saying, yeah, okay, you do what you want to do, but we will continue to work. We will continue to use what we need to use. And also with the healers and others that are learning, you do feel the energies inside you. I always used to find when I opened up, I used to try and imagine that everything was like a little silver disc, and I had to get that disc spinning. And I always found that when I got to the solar plexus, I always felt like I was a washing machine, and it was just trying to go into the spin. And I used to feel these vibrations, and sometimes if it got a bit too much, you'd think, oh, this is too much, and you would ask for it to be lowered. Okay, how many people here, even if you have not sat in circle, even if you have not links with healing, how many of you suddenly feel a surge of energy around you, a surge of strength that you feel you needed at that moment? It's there. It's always there. And it's such a gift. So we need to use these chakras. We need to go through them. 7 chakras, 7 colours. We also have the aura, which also has 7 layers. They love the number 7. Okay, so even the aura has these 7 layers which vibrate. They vibrate all the way through, and they help you to use those energies in a way you need to use it. And sometimes you can even, with the modern technology you get these days, sometimes you even get the people that do these photographs. Have you ever seen these photographs where they take a photograph of your aura? The best thing you're going to do if you get a photograph of that is have another one done 6 months later or a year later and have a look at the difference. Because those colours and how bright those colours or dull those colours are showing you where you are struggling with the energy in yourself, with your health. They will show you. I find them fascinating. I wish that they could have cameras that would actually pick up the people standing behind you when you're on the rostrum giving messages. Wouldn't it be so nice if you could just go, selfie? And then when you hand it over, everybody's kind of going, oh, wow, yeah, that's Uncle Fred. Look at that. Look. And I can remember when I was working in Canada, I remember going to the Native American, or should I say Native Canada, or as they like, First Nations, and being introduced to the council there. And I was taken around their museum and talking about this spirit photograph. Those in the spirit world love to get in a photograph. They love to get in a frame. You will see, if you look carefully through your photographs, you'll always find something that's not quite right. But when we were walking around in the museum part, and the gentleman was showing us these things, there was a photograph, and the photograph was about 13 elders, and those 13 elders were all the healers and those that brought the spiritual enlightenment to everybody there. And I thought, this looks more like a football team. And the gentleman said to me, how many people can you see? So I said, okay. So I counted them out, just off the top of my head, 17. And he said, no, there are only 8. So I said, no, I can see them. And they said, when the photo was taken, those extra people were not on there. So I thought, okay, I've got to have a photograph of this. So I said, can I take a photograph? So he said, yes, with our blessing, you know, give thanks for allowing it to be done. I took a photograph, and he said, have you checked it? So I said, no, I'll do it when I get home. He said, no, have you checked it? So I said, okay, so you're doing your little bit. And then there was these 7 or 8 people sitting there with nobody behind them. But then I could take a look at the one on the wall, and it was there. The picture was not for me. It was for their own people to be able to see that their loved ones come back, that the energies that are there with them, helping their beliefs, helping their own advancement, is allowing those in the spirit world to come through and be photographed. I mean, we've all seen photographs on Facebook, things like that, of, you know, the haunted house or the haunted pub or something. There's a little light in the corner, or there's a little something there, or there's a little orb. You know, nobody's saying they're not there, because a lot of these places do need calming. They do need the energies in the property as well as in the person. But to be able to see how spirit use energy to show themselves is, I mean, unbelievable. And to actually be standing there, look at your camera, and then look 2 yards away, this one's full up of people, and mine's just got the 8. How does it work? Why do they only allow it within that sphere of people? Your guess is as good as mine. But the energies that are with us work for us and sometimes against us. It depends how you accept those energies and use those energies. If you're kind to yourself, if you're kind to other people, as I said, it will radiate that energy. It will allow that energy to help you to use faculties within yourself that you may never have used before. Okay. Can I just ask, is there anybody here that has a photo with somebody in it, or have you not noticed? No, nobody's got one. It's worth looking through your photographs. Now, there's going to be loads of people online going, oh, quick, get the photographs out. We'll have a look at this. And do you know what? That's what I want them to do. Because if they can see something that is there, and it gives them that belief that they never had before, then it's done. It's happiness. Those in the spirit world love photos. Whenever you get the photos out and you go through them, you will find that all of a sudden you've got such a great memory. You say, oh yeah, that's when we did this. Oh yeah, that's when we did that. Actually, you've got those in the spirit world leaning over your shoulder, helping you along. You would normally go, and I don't remember what that was, but the spirit world is going, oh, that's when we did this. That's when we did that. And you're going, oh, see, I'm really good. I remember all this. But it's not you, it's the spirit energy. So that spirit energy that is around you allows the spirit to be with you, around you, within you, but to guide you. Energies can be used in many ways. Great energies are things like music, silence, as walking out, being happy with yourself. And I've noticed when you work from the rostrum and you're using your energies, you can feel the energies change, especially in a church like here where Laurie gets up, he has a few words with you, he plays a bit of music. Sorry, I don't know if that was dust or whether that was something around me. But sorry?
I opened my wallet.
But when he has a bit of a laugh with you, when he plays that bit of music, it lifts the whole vibration. It allows you to work within your scope of working. It allows you to maybe be a little bit better than you were the last time. This is energies. This is energies being there for you. You're working with those energies, and it makes such a difference. Sometimes you will go to a church, no disrespect, you will go to a church and everything is like, whew, it's a line, and you think, okay, I need to pick up the energies. And it seems like there's no energies to pick up. And the people are just like, well, you just get on with it, you'll do this, you'll do that, and then you can move on. When you stop, we'll tell you when to stop. So you're thinking, okay, I don't feel very comfortable here. And that's because negative energies are around you from the source that you're working from. Yeah. We see the energies in other ways. I mean, there must be times when you've seen mediums working and you can see the energy around them. You can see the colours change. You can see the shapes. And sometimes those energy colours will turn into the shape of a being. We underestimate these chakras. We underestimate these powers. And of course, each chakra works with a different level, but they also interact. So one will mould into the next, will mould into the next, will mould into the next. I want you to think about one energy that you should be able to remember, or you should be able to account for, and that is the solar plexus. Okay, I prefer the solar plexus because I think there's so much going on that it just helps you to realise that the energies are there. I mean, you all aware of what used to be called mother's intuition, gut instinct. Okay, this is something that we all have. We all have, and I'm sure you've all got stories about when you listened to it and when you didn't listen to it. I remember when I first ignored it. It was very much in the early days of learning. I was still driving heavy vehicles, and I was coming up to a large roundabout, and my gut instinct was go to the right, and I thought, no, I always go to the left. That's the way I know. So it's go to the right. So I decided I'm going to go to the left. I drove down to the left, went round the corner, and there was this huge traffic jam. And there was all these ambulances, and God knows where there was an accident. There was no way for me to turn around, no way for anybody back up. And then, as if to rub your nose in it, with the radio when it came over, do avoid the 3059 for argument's sake, because there is an accident and there's going to be a 2 or 3 hour wait. And it was from then that I thought, okay, you tell me again, I'm using it, I'm taking it. But that is just one case. I mean, is there anybody here that can share when they've used their intuition for better or not so better? Can you give me a for instance?
I was approaching Pool Bridge from the Hamworthy side, and I heard stop, and I looked, I thought, no, I'll be right, and I heard stop, and I stopped just where the barriers come down, and coming at me from the pool side was his 18-wheeler truck, and he overtook a cyclist on Pool Bridge, and he took the side of my car. The wing mirror swung in, went across my face and landed upside down in the footwell. The cyclist was lucky, the truck stopped, but I was literally, I had to move. I drove to the police station, and the police were absolutely brilliant. We tracked the truck down in the end, but it was a very, very near miss.
What's the first thing you do once you've worked out you got over it? Thank God.
Needed a cup of tea.
Thank God. But you had the energies there from the solar plexus telling you, listen, something's coming up.
Yeah.
We're going to cause a vibration here, so you notice us.
Yeah.
But you were also very lucky is that you had what it could have been very, very bad deflected from you.
Yeah.
Again, so your own positivity, you're being in your own environment, you're happy driving, you know where you are, and you're happy and singing maybe with the radio on.
Yeah.
So you're allowed to deflect that which could have been quite bad.
It could have been if he hadn't swerved back on his side, narrowly missing the cyclist, he would have took the whole side and my legs. It was a very, very close call. And I remember it was my nan that was telling me to stop. And I gripped the steering wheel and I put my head down, and it just went down the side.
It almost gives me goose pimples.
Yeah, it does.
Is there anybody else that can relate to this? Do you know, you've got such an energy with you at the moment. I think you've got more energy there than I've got here.
Don't know why that is.
Well, would you like to share that with us, please?
I've had quite a few where I've been told to stop, but there was one where I was driving along country lanes and I was trying to get around this darn tractor and trailer, and I kept being told by Spirit it was fine, stay where I was, but I was trying to get round, couldn't get round, listened to Spirit, turned off to go round the bend, and there was a young lad in a sporty type car on the wrong side of the road. Now if I got round that truck and gone round, we might have met on the bend.
Mm.
And I think, and it's like going out of the house sometimes, you can't get out, and then you realise you've missed something, you going past an accident on sometimes you never know why, do you? You
No.
want to stop.
Now, do you know what? The energies even working here, listening to your stories, it's like my it's doing overtime. It's like, oh God, that could be you, that could be me, that could be anybody.
They've saved me a lot, I have to say.
You know, but
I love that film, Sliding Doors.
Go on.
It's a film, and it's all based around one day in this woman's life. One time she manages to catch a tube, and the other time she doesn't catch a tube, and how different the day is. But I like the premise of that, you know, and you just said something there about trying to get out, and oh, where's the bloody keys? Oh my God, you know, and I'll just bust my shoe. And you have all these things going wrong because you wanted to be out the door at 10 o'clock and you didn't go out the door until 10:05. But we don't know what could have happened. I'm not saying every time, but sometimes it is because I put
No,
keys
but
in the toilet for some reason.
we do know straight away, don't we? That was meant to be.
Yeah.
And it's easy to say, I know, that was meant to be.
I read somewhere, and I can't recall where it was, but one of the Apollo space missions that ended up in an awful disaster, that there were several attempts to stop that going because it was frozen and all sorts of other different things. So it was like the energies and the spirit or whatever was trying to stop them actually going, but they were determined to do that. And that ended up in a disaster, but I had read somewhere that it stopped. They were trying, energies were trying to stop, spirit were trying to stop it.
But something like that, nothing was going to stop them, was it? Because
Yeah.
the world was
Right.
watching them. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. You know, even those that are doing all the little computers there and everything else. You know, sometimes there must have been somebody there that was thinking, do you know what? Things have been going wrong here. This shouldn't be right. This shouldn't happen. But if you stood up and said, "Oh, listen, I'm getting this vibration,"
Yeah.
and can I just tell you,
Sorry, Houston.
we need to cancel this because there's something wrong. You know, everybody would go, "Yeah, quick, get him out. Don't let that go on the TV or anything else like that." But that person would know that he felt or she felt that something was wrong, and she wanted to do something about it. And you only get one shot at this. So you have to trust, you have to believe that energy is coming to you for a reason. Somebody could feel that, somebody could maybe have seen it with the third eye, or that something was going to go drastically wrong. I mean, saying about things that you think was going to go wrong. I can remember driving to Devon, and I remember that the rain was hammering down, and I just got on the bit. I forget where it is now, but where you get onto the A303 from the main road here, M3 or whatever it is. And I can remember it was terrible, but people were going mad. They were really going mad. I don't know what it is about the rain that says, "Oh, put your foot down." But I can remember driving there. I had a partner in the front seat, 2 kids in the back, and I'm trying to keep away from the guy in the front. And the guy behind me kept trying to get closer and closer because he wanted to go faster, so I ignored him. Suddenly, the vehicle in front of me stopped. I hit the brakes, knowing this is going to be a bit of a spin going on here. All I could see in my head mirror, believe it or not, and this is the God's honest truth, was this vehicle coming at me at such a great speed. And I literally said to everybody, "Brace." And in a twinkling of an eye, I thought, "Come on," but it didn't hit. And I had a look in the mirror and it had gone. Somehow he decided to go around me, but I don't know how, because I couldn't even see his bumper. He was that close to me. So again, the energies, cat's doing their job over there.
Yeah.
The energies were there kind of saying, not just that there's a problem coming, but also that we've got you. Don't do anything drastic, just stay where you are and do what you're doing. You see, when you're concentrating, and this is another thing with the energies, when you're concentrating and something comes into that concentration bubble, like the cat jumping up, you two jumped out of your seats. But it's just the way that, again, we're so sensitive. We're so sensitive to everything that's going on around us. Any more before we move on again? No? Oh, go on, yes, please.
Many years ago, glanced up in my rearview mirror and saw this car in the same lane as me, bearing down on me. And I suddenly knew, I just knew he wasn't going to stop. He was just going to keep barreling, whether I was there or not. So I broke the law and speeded up. I broke the speed limit so I could shoot round and get in front into the lane
Space,
in front
yeah.
of the others. And he just shot through. And then when I got into Portsmouth, going down the M275, on the flyover, he had gone over the flyover and just gone through the barrier and over the edge. He wanted to commit suicide, and he wasn't really concerned who he was going to take with him. But it was just that knowing that he wasn't going to stop for me. So I just shot through him.
And isn't it funny? We all say,
Yeah.
"Cool, somebody was looking after me there."
Yeah.
I know people who don't even believe in the afterlife, don't even believe in God, and yet I've heard them say, "Oh, somebody was looking after me there."
Yeah.
Who was looking after you? You don't believe in it. Tell me, explain to me who it was. But again, there is this deflection of negativity
Yeah.
from our psychic centres.
Yeah.
And we move a little bit from there and we go to the heart chakra. Heart chakra, well, when you think of the heart, you think of love. Everything to do with love has got a heart attached, isn't it? You know? And what we're doing is we're using this chakra and what it consists of, which is that love, that wanting to help, that wanting to protect. And this is why the heart chakra is so prominent in healing, because it's love, it's pure, it's coming from intent. You don't want nothing for it, you just want to pass it on. You just want to say, listen, I love you as a fellow human being, you're suffering, let me help you. And I also remember that when we were talking about opening up and closing down, I always found that with the energies would automatically open. As I said, if you were talking about it, if you were doing something, if you were linking with something, that energy would also automatically open up. And I could feel sometimes my heart coming out of my chest when I was giving healing. And that wasn't anything that I was good at this and all. This was the energy, this was the power that was coming in, that is given to us freely, allowing us to use this for our own highest best and for the best for other people. Then we go to the throat chakra. Again, this is all the line of the blue, the red, the yellow, the green, all these different interwoven lines. That is what consists of the higher energy, the self energy, the soul energy. And it's fine that some people call it soul energy and some people call it, I wouldn't call it psychic energy, but they call it soul energy and they call it life energy. It doesn't matter what you call it, it is still there, it's always going to be there. Also, when we move to the throat chakra, this is where we hear from. I'm sure you all know that. But this is where we draw the information from. When somebody's whispering in our ear, when we're working up here and the energies are allowing messages to be passed on to you, this is where we hear it. Okay? I always used to say, no, you've got to hear it there, because that's your ears. But that wasn't the case. They would always say to you, no, you hear it from here. And once you start to work and you start to feel the vibration, again, of that energy that is freely given, it feels vibration in your throat. Is there anybody sitting in circle at the moment? No? Do you need to sit in circle at the moment? That's really funny. It's just like, I feel like somebody saying to me, do you need to sit in circle? That's a funny question for it, isn't it?
Where did that come from?
Okay, do you actually do this work? Up here?
I'm getting nearer to getting up there.
Okay, well listen, somebody's just given you a nice little boost there, because it's like somebody said, yeah, she don't need to.
Again.
She don't need to. Okay, I'm sorry, I did jump over you there. What was that you wanted to... You're sitting in circle now?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you both sitting in circle? So you're working very closely with the chakras and the energies. Okay. Can I ask you, Is there any specific chakra that stands out for you?
One there for me.
Your solar plexus.
Is it the yellow one? It's just underneath the rib cage there.
Sorry?
The yellow one underneath the rib cage.
Yeah, yeah. And what about you, sir? You sit in circle?
You sit in circle with me.
Okay. Is there any specific chakra that stands out when you're opening up?
Do you get any fainting feeling in any part of your body like where the chakras are?
No? Your time will come, yes.
Am I dealing with my crown? Yeah.
When you do that, you feel like, is it like your eye is like a camera shutter?
Mm.
And it's like it starts taking so many photographs and you feel it flickering?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Okay. It's a good sign that you are allowing the chakras to come up in the way they should do. Okay. If that doesn't work so well, it's generally because you're a little bit blocked up. I don't mean you know the way everybody's just thought.
Don't blow your nose, love.
But it shows that you're allowing the higher energy to be there. And if you are using that, and I always say the chakra that illuminates more with you than any other is where your bent is where you're going to be working from. So yours is very much clairvoyance. I think solar plexus covers a lot because you always get all different things that are connected with the solar plexus. But what you need to do is always remember the colour. And you know what? We used to do a circle that when we found out what we thought was our chakra, shall we say, we would wear that colour to the circle. Are you drawn to light colours by any chance?
I am, believe it or not.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to say anything because that's your personal choice at this moment.
Yeah.
But you would understand that you're drawn to the brighter colours.
Yes.
Because when your energy gets going, it's like you're full of it. Does that make sense?
I am a bit.
And I mean that in a nice way. I mean that in a way that the energies almost sometimes get the better of you.
Yes,
Okay. Also, if you're not careful, it is possible for these energies to kind of push you a little bit towards trance.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you can get used to the heart going mad when the energy is there, then you'll be able to even move into that line, depending on whether you want it. The energies aren't there to tell you what you need to do in your spiritual learning. You decide that.
Is that like I'm about to hyperventilate? Is that?
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Yeah, the first time I felt it, I thought I was having a heart attack because I could not.
Welcome to the wonderful world of mediumship.
That's it. That's right. and I remember because we were dealing with energies in the very first circle that I sat in, and the lady that was in charge, she said to me, "Oh, I've got a real treat for you. I'm going to take you to see a real trance mediumship circle." Okay, didn't really know what it was. I'd only just come into it, so tell me what it is and we'll have a look. So we all went there, and the gentleman that was in charge of it came round, and he was kind of looking at everybody, and then he said, "Only my students will be going into trance today." I thought, yeah, so nobody else is to go into trance. And I thought, well, that's fine. Nobody wants to go into trance. That's what we're here to watch. When we went through the meditation and the energies started to change, this is when I started to think, oh, hang on a minute, I don't think I'm very well. Something not quite right here, because it's almost like it was pushing out of my chest.
Mm-hmm.
So I sat there, and it was just like somebody had come up to my right-hand side and were going, well, and I thought, oh, it's probably the tutor saying something to somebody else, and I can hear it. And then, of course, it was getting worse, and my breathing was getting very erratic. And I was, to be honest with you, scared stiff. And the gentleman come up to me, and he was standing in front of me. I still thought he was over there. And he said to me, "Is there something you would like to say?" And I'm thinking, who's he talking to? But I could feel him right in front of me. And at the end, he came up to me and he said, "I did tell you, you're not supposed to go into trance. You're supposed to use your energies properly." Don't overuse your energies, don't underuse your energies, let them flow naturally. You were drawn into the trance because you weren't listening. Okay, I thought I was. So anyway, he said, when he was talking to me, and I thought, oh, I thought he was over there. So he said, I was asking you to talk to me. I was saying, is there something you would like to say? Did you not hear me? No. But that trance feeling and the way that was going boom, 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 as you say, it's like an anxiety thing. And the worst thing was, my dad had passed with the heart when I was 5. And my first thought was, oh God, I'm on my way out. But once you get over it, once you get used to it, because I'm very lucky that they use me, what I call semi-trance, when I am doing the rostrum, working on the rostrum. I generally get it when I'm given an address. And I'm quite happy with it now because it's like, oh, I can put my feet up. I don't feel awkward giving them my point of view. This is a point of view coming from somebody that has more to say. And it's actually quite nice. The worst bit about it, when you work, is finding my seat afterwards. Because I feel like there's no seat there and I don't want to open my eyes because I'm in the same moment. And then I sit down and it's just like, once I've got that, it's like, hold on for a few seconds and that's fine. And I remember you, Lawrence, saying, was it Mark that does some trance work and he does it seated?
Yeah.
And this was only fairly recently that it was said to me, and I can remember sitting at home and just going through my bits, and I said, how come is it that one gentleman can sit with the trance and I don't have to worry about being flooded with the energies, but I have to stand? And I could hear somebody saying to me that was working close to me, and the reason is, well, why do I have to stand? Why do I have to go through that process of where's my seat, or somebody grabbing my arm like an old man and putting me back down? And it was simply because that is the way they wanted me to work. They wanted me to be more aware by being standing up. I don't see a difference. The energies are the same. But the trance comes in and it uses you the way you're going to be used with whatever guide, helper, loved one comes in. Has anybody else gone through this real shaky bit?
No, but a lot of times I have this feeling here.
Yeah.
And it's like a tingling. I address it and say hello and everything, but what's that?
Does it feel like it's moving?
No, it's just here. It's not a strong tingle, but it's different to what I'm feeling everywhere else. Yeah, a lot.
Can I ask you, have you ever had trauma to the head? I'm not being funny.
No.
Okay. The reason I'm saying that is because sometimes the energy goes around things like this because it's a sensitive area. If it was moving, I link things like that with what I call the cobweb effect. And when you feel something there as well, and you just know there's somebody there, and the best thing to do to communicate is literally say, I know you're there. I might not know who you are, but I know you're there. And if it's somebody just trying to come close to you, you can guarantee that they're going to be going, yes, just connected, yes, just connected. And then you will probably get that more and more.
I like it. It's not.
It doesn't hurt you, it doesn't distract you.
No.
So you are using the energy. So you think of where you are, you're up between the third eye and the crown of the dome of the head. Okay. I would say ask them if it interferes with what you're doing when you're meditating or anything. Ask them to take it away. Not the energy, just the sensation. Just the sense.
So gentle.
Oh yeah. I don't doubt that. I mean, when I get it, and now I feel that somebody's playing with my hair. Okay, you're allowed to laugh, honestly, you're allowed to laugh. But that's what it is. When they connect with me, it feels like I've got a full head of hair and maybe even a little wave, but somebody's up there doing that, just above my head, and I go, well, what's going on? And I do the same as I've told everybody else. Acknowledge. Acknowledge things and you will get more. So I'm acknowledging it and I'm just thinking, why do I get that? And I do believe now that it is taking me back to when I was a child. And I feel that even though I was only 5 when my father died, I can almost feel him doing that to me. Way back then, even though I can't remember anything about him. But it's automatically what comes to mind. So I'm very lucky now I can acknowledge the fact that I know who this, or I feel I know who it is. Like you said, it doesn't worry you. It's a comforting feeling. And it may be, you know, that's your sign for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know, do you actually work up here?
No, I didn't have it 2 years ago.
Right.
It's been since.
So do you feel that, for want of a better way of putting it, that your chakras have evolved?
I'm much more aware.
Okay, and you're much happier with it? Okay, and you can come away from your moment of meditation, or when you're working in circle, or whatever it is, and you can come away and just say, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
That works for me. Just goes to show everybody is different. You know, third eye, fluttering like mad. That is the area that you're going to be drawn to. Yours up here. Do you know what? When I think of up here, I think of the lovely philosophy that is given. And I wonder if you know, that lovely colour up there with you, whether this is a philosophy thing for you. Do you like discussing things? Do you like putting over your view?
Oh yeah, I love a good debate.
I was going to say, it's just like you get your teeth into it.
You always know it's serious when we start dressing up our straps. You know? Oh yeah, I'm right into that. You know, you just right. You know, you just hit the key there.
Even if it's something I don't necessarily agree with, I do like the, you know, like you're going to be on that side, but that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
But use the chakras, use the energies, and don't be afraid to use them for what you want to use them for. In other words, if you feel that you want to open up to an extent where you are opening the doors for somebody to come in and be close to you, maybe touch your hair in my case, or whatever, then experiment.
Yeah.
Okay? The mediums of yesteryear used to sit around a circle, but not everybody could do that. So a lot of people actually learnt on their own. Am I right?
Yeah.
And it didn't stop them going all the way up to being able to work with all different people, to be able to understand what they're doing, teach what they're doing. You know, I not being disrespectful, but obviously we can go out these days, we can have a course, we can come back with all this DSNU or whatever you want to call it. Got no problem with that whatsoever. Your actual certificate is from the spirit world. Your certificate is moving along, evolving, feeling that last year you never used to get this. Now all of a sudden I'm feeling that. I never used to feel upset when I would stand next to somebody I didn't know. And then to find out that this person is in a bad place and you're attracted to it, you're evolving your chakras, you are becoming more sensitive. Solar plexus again. How many times have you stood next to somebody, maybe at the bus stop or something, and you stand next to them and you think, oh, actually, I don't like the feeling of this person. Or you might go, oh, this is a nice vibration. You say, hello, how are you? Where are you going? And again, you are using your solar plexus, your sensitivities, that says, this person isn't on your wavelength. Okay, and this person is. This person wants nothing to do with you. This person needs a chat. Sorry, I keep seeing a gentleman walking around this young man here.
Really?
Yeah, not a lot of build to him. Okay, of course this could be because of how he passed. I don't know. I just feel like every now and then I feel like I want to just put my hand on the shoulder. Just put my hand on the shoulder, you know. And this would be. Sorry, I don't want to go into this, please. It's not what we're here for. It's not what we're here. But you see, we're activating. We're encouraging. And so they're going, oh, hang on a minute, we've got a bit of a loophole here, we can get in.
An opportunity.
An opportunity. But, I'm sorry, I'm gonna let this out, otherwise I'm never going to be left alone. I want to say you're doing a good job. Do you understand? You're doing a good job, all right? And to give yourself a little bit of credit, all right? I see you looking in the mirror and you're not happy with what you see. Do you understand? You're not happy with what you see. And I want to say, and I'm not even picking up whether with male or female, I'm really not, but I was drawn to a gentleman because of the young man. I want to say to you, next time you look in the mirror, instead of going on a negative, which again affects your chakras, instead of going on a negative, look at yourself in the mirror and go, look, I'm dead. Okay, because you will feel better because you have added the positivity to you. Do you understand? When you, I'm sorry we're going into this.
No, listen, they're the worst opportunists in the world, so yeah, carry on.
Okay. When you get a negative in your head, you walk away with that negative. You can be thinking about it all the way down the road, the same thing.
You go looking for fault, don't be surprised when you find it.
Thank you.
So instead of looking for fault, look at how we see you. Did anybody scream when you walked in the room? Only a couple, never mind.
But as I say, lovely vibration here. And I know that this person, when they were there, they wouldn't hang about. They said, hang on a minute, I want to get you, I want to, you know, they wouldn't have just let other people go past. If I were to get to the bar, excuse me, I'm getting to the bar, and when I got to the bar, I would stay there. Just in case anybody pinched my spot. Okay? So I'm sorry I had to give you that, but that is the way it comes in. And only those in the spirit world know when something needs a lift. Or somebody needs a lift. All right? Okay, I'm not going to go into this. I'm sorry, I have to be strong. I have to be strong. Okay, see, this is another case of I'm in charge of my energies. Well, sorry, I should be in charge of my energies. But there are those that think because the energies are there, because there's this little dot in the material world that they can, oh, there's a doorway there, I can go in there and I can have a look. Okay, and is it you that's had a lot of tummy problems? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to make that the last bit. So when we're looking at the chakras, we're looking at our energizer, our batteries. If we're going to work better, we've got to make those batteries work harder. We've got to keep the body nice and not pure. God help us if everything we had to be pure. But we need to make sure we look after ourselves. The more we look after ourselves, the more we are giving ourselves positive energy. The more we don't, we are creating problems. And that problem may be on the root of your chakras, and it may show in different ways. It may just show that, you know, in your life you'll find that maybe you're not as well as you should be because you're allowing this to draw you down. So we do not want negative, we only want positive. When the energies are there, we do not close them down anymore. You've probably already been told you don't close them down. When we sometimes get a little bit of imbalance, it may be that one of these chakras, one of these psychic centres is blocked. And that blockage can come from not looking after yourself, not making yourself feel good, not being happy. If you're walking around with your head down, you can bet your life that that energy is dropping a little bit too. So if you want to clear those chakras, if you want to clear those energy centres, you have to add the good stuff. And do you know what I always say? The best thing you can do is go for a walk. We're very lucky here. We can walk along the sea. We've got the water there. Major energy. We can go for a walk in the woods. We can go for a walk in the pouring rain. But I guarantee you always feel so much better for that. And if you're doing that, you're removing the negativity here and you're replacing it with positivity. You're allowing yourself to be lifted to the level you should be. In fact, we should all be a little bit higher than we are at our best, because it's only then that we can actually experience what is going on in our life and what we can do about it. Okay. Also, please, I know I gave it with you, but I just want to wonder, I keep picking up trauma. By any chance do you pick up anything like that? It's just like somebody's really holding on to something. Yeah. And I want to blow it up. I want to get the dynamite in and blow it up.
And it's emotional.
Yeah. And I don't want to pick anybody up, because I say I don't want to go into the work thing, because that's not the way I want to do it. But if there is somebody here that is holding on to the trauma, holding on to that lump, shall we say, in the solar plexus, feeling, you know, so upset and down, work on the way we've just been talking about bringing that good into your life. You will bring it in. You will lift yourself back up. It's just that somebody, I'm being drawn straight away here with somebody here that's linked with this trauma. And maybe they'd like to come up afterwards and just let me know who it was. Because we can sort this out. We can sort this out. Okay. And can I just come back to you, please? With your energies, what are your intentions? Yeah, is it to be up here and work? Is it to just use your own skills?
I don't know. I think at the moment it's just because I'm too shy to do anything like that at the moment. So I'm just
You take
trying to make sense of it, because you know when you sort of see something at the corner line, you turn, there's nobody there, but you're not going insane. You know you saw something, and it's like trying to normalise it and kind of that's me.
I feel bloated talking to you. I actually feel bloated.
It's all in there. Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm going to have to work on this afterwards as well now. All right, but you know,
There's a lot going on.
trust in what's going on here.
Yeah.
Do you understand? You've got one of those vibrations that says you can do what you want to do,
I know.
and that's your frame of mind as well, isn't it?
It is, but I don't know why I'm holding myself. I'm holding myself back, but I don't know why, and I just can't.
The unknown.
I'm stuck.
It's the unknown.
Yeah. So I think I'm learning a lot in that.
And you haven't set an intent.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Not every medium is to work on a platform.
No.
All right? Just our own awareness. And I know I keep saying this, but because I mean it and I believe in it passionately. If we can develop our own awareness to be our own medium, to feel people around us, to get that inspiration. That's what the spirit world want. They don't want everybody up here going, I've got your mother here. Simple. That is not everybody's path. My path is different to Roy's path, is different to Sue's path, is different to Paul's
So
path.
many different paths. So many.
Yeah.
I think I'm a carer. I like to help people. I like to be of service.
And this
So
is where the
I'm a
inspiration.
And it's kind of that. I want to help people, but I don't
Yeah.
know how to. I don't know with this what I've got, whatever it is. I'm still learning what it is I've got that I can do, or can't do, or whatever. And I'm still learning about that. What would I do with it? How would I help people with it?
Well, the first thing you can do, if I may say, is be happy with the level you're at.
Yeah.
Okay, be aware of the way that your energies are. Again, we go to your solar plexus because that's where I was drawn to with you. But you've got to be able to make yourself happy with where you are. When you're happy and contented with where you are, some people say, that's all I want to do, I don't want to get any more. But they'll find because they're happy at that level, suddenly the level has to rise a bit. And we have to take on another level. But that is simply so we can work out where we need to be. You know, I mean, you've got it quite hard because with the solar plexus and the heart with you, obviously, because you work in the way you work, you have to be careful because, you know, we can all act as sponges.
Yes.
We've only got to talk to somebody for 5 minutes and we can walk out, oh, flipping heck. Oh, that's hard work. And you don't mean it nastily. You'll just say, boy, have I picked up something from this person? And you have to deal with that. You have to cleanse that area.
Yeah.
Not because this is a nasty person, but simply because, you know, I worked in care for 16 years. And I remember I used to work with mental disability and FISDs. And I found that doing this work, I would do my job and then I would be working up here and I would be absolutely shattered.
Yeah.
Because the minute I came off there, my thought was going to Fred that wasn't too well when I left him, that he isn't getting the help he needs from the social services. So we're filing it.
Yeah.
We're filing it because they're dependent on you and you're allowing them to draw on to you. It's not really something you need to do.
I think doing that, you forget what joy is. You forget joy. You don't know what joy is at the end of the day. You know, I don't know what I go through
can I say to you, as you are going through your learning phase and not knowing where you are, you will find that happiness with it. You might not find happiness with everything else on the earth, but you will be allowed to use those energies for you, for healing you. Okay? Again, solar plexus heart, that giving essence, wanting to be there, wanting to make a difference, wanting to help, you know, and then leaving your own problems there to fester. We have to put ourselves first. Might sound unspiritual, but if you don't put yourself first, how can you help somebody else? And the things we go through in life, the effects that we have with the energies and everything else, they are there for a reason. They are lessons. You know, some people say, I've gone through so much in my life. I've had this happen. All to me. But maybe that is part of the learning process. Maybe that is part of the journey that they need to take. And I found with some of the things I've gone through in life, where I've been drawn through this lovely work with these lovely people, I find that I could say to some of these people that were going through the worst, I know how you feel. And not be a hypocrite because I hadn't gone through it. I hadn't learnt it. You know, so these things that we're given, sometimes we think are knocking us for six. They're actually giving us another gift that we can say. When people know what you've gone through, they go, yeah, you do. Otherwise, if you say it, the first thing they think is, no, you don't. You don't know. But being the way we are, the sensitive, ultra-sensitive, we feel these things. We need to use these things to progress, to learn. And I get such a lovely vibration when I come here. And I've got that vibration now. It's almost like not just me, but other people are happy to be here.
It's like like-minded people, isn't it? You found your family.
Yeah, and we're all one big family, but we have to be in ourselves. We have to accept ourselves as being part of the family, not other people accept us. But as I say, the energies here, and this is again where the energies matter. We start a service, the comedian starts, okay, and we go through the yes, no, maybe, okay. There are those standing up here ready for everything to start going, having a good old laugh. What is he on? What is he on? I'll tell you what he's on. He's on the energies that are built in here. And each and every one of you are part of that energy. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. You're all part of the picture. You're all part of the picture. But allow those energies to guide you, but not lead you. Okay? You are still in control. You are still going to use those chakras that you need most in your life to go where you need to be and what you need to do. But how special do you feel that you're all part of this? And do you know what? The spirit world wants you to feel special. They want you to say, listen, you come here, no disrespect, but you come here, you make the teas, you welcome people on the door. It's like, that is a big thing. That is a big thing, especially when somebody comes in and joins the family for the first time. You lovely people are the people that give the first impression. You are the people that when they go out, they'll say, oh, I will be coming back again. Where there are some places that haven't learnt yet how to use the energy that's been given to them within their church. I'm going to get some mail now. and you just, you know, you walk in and people just look at you and they walk away. I know we've come off the drift a bit, but it's still prominent with what we're going on about. And I can remember once going into a church and there was a lady there sorting the hymn books, and that was when we had hymn books. And I went in there and she went, there you go, sit down, don't sit at the front because that's where the committee sits. So I thought, okay. So I thought, I'll better tell her I'm the medium. So I said, and she said, anywhere you like, as long as it's not the front four seats, because that's, okay. So I sat down and the time got closer and closer to when the service was to start. And I'm thinking, should I? And it's like somebody said, no, wait. I thought, no, that doesn't sound very spiritual. Somebody not allowing me to say something. But they go, no, wait. So I sat there and the committee came out of the little medium's room a couple of minutes too. They walked up past the aisle and I heard one say to the other, well, that's really nice, isn't it? You book somebody and they don't even bother to turn up. What sort of a thing is that? You know, we welcome them to our church. I'm thinking, okay, the welcome might not be quite right. And I can remember them talking about that. It's just like, and then I remember everybody was kind of casual clothing, and I'm kind of in the suit with the tie and everything else like that, out of respect. And this lady's walking up and down, and she's looking at everybody in their cardigans and everything else like that. And she looked at me and she said, "Excuse me, are you the medium?" And I said, "Actually, yes, I am." And it wasn't, "Oh, thank goodness for that." It was like, "Well, you could have at least let us know. What sort of a welcome are you supposed to get?" If I said, "I'll tell you the welcome I got." The lady says, "There you go, that's yours, sit down, shut up." And I said to them at the end of it, I said, "I'm sorry, but there's a lesson to be learned here. If you are welcoming, you are adding to those energies, you are adding to those psychic centres, you are lifting the vibration. You walk in and say, 'Oh, look, it's him, sit down, do this, do that.'" And again, there are other things where the rules are laid down. We're supposed to adhere. You said yourself the other day, when we finished up here, those that have worked here will understand this. When we finished up here, that's where the energy goes. It's just like, okay, we can stop now. And then, like you said, the lady will say, "Oh, you can do another one." "Oh, we've got another 15 minutes.
Yeah, we have to do it by the clock.
Okay, yeah.
Say 20
And the
past.
spirit world are going, bye. And they wonder why you won't get up and do another one, because if you do it, number one, you're going to do it part psychically. And number two, you know, if they're not there, what are you going to get? What are you going to get? But so your energies, for whatever you do as part of the church, whether you're the congregation, whether you're a committee, whether you, as I say, the most valuable part, meeting people at the door, making them welcome. I wonder how many people come to that door, get to the door on their own and think, "Oh, maybe I won't go in. Maybe I won't go in. I'll leave it. And then they might come back, give it one more time, and then suddenly you catch them at the door. And you open that door and you say, come in, you know, and you make them welcome. You get them a cup of tea, you give them a glass of water, whatever. They suddenly are part of the family. They've only been able to do that because you've used your sensitivities, your love, which is what everything is about. Again, love is the strongest emotion we have. But you have given that to people to come in to say, "I'm coming back. I'm coming back." So, bless you, the doorkeepers. And the coffee makers. Sounds like a song, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure we can get a song up for Christmas. For that.
But hopefully you can understand somewhere I'm going. I know because I lost track of my notes and everything. I'm just hoping you can understand where I'm coming from, and hope that you are listening and that you are going to put some of what I've given you into your work life and end up here. So some of us, when we really can retire, could go, "I remember those days. I remember when I'm up there, and I remember almost pooping myself. Because what if? But the energies are always there, and all I want to say to you is, whatever your journey is, may your God go with you. Bless you.
Lovely. Here you go, mate. Have another chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roy. You know what? One thing that just kept coming into my mind through that, it got really hot up here, didn't it? Was about balance. It's always applying balance. You know, where we get the negative energies, to balance it out with the positive. And even at those, and you won't be able to do this straight away, but even at those worst times when we have to say farewell to somebody, at some stage, the happier memories will come in and allow them to be in. Never feel guilty, because I know that goes along hand in hand with the grief. You feel guilty for being happy. That's not good. That's not good. And also about ourselves. Allow the positive side to come in, because when we work in balance, we're working in harmony then. We're working in harmony with ourselves. And that is really important. We all know people, don't we, that think, "Oh God, don't ask them how they are." We used to have somebody here many years ago, and you go, "How are you?" And as you're saying it, in your mind you're going, "Oh, you idiot." You fool! Why did you say that? Because you knew what was going to come. You know, you just knew that everything or negative that was either put upon or self-created would come forward, and you just stand there thinking, "Oh, I'm going to cut my tongue out."
I've actually had that in a church service, and I've gone to a couple of people, then I've gone to a lady sitting right at the back, and behind them was one or two members of the committee, just because that's the best place that they sit and watch and everything. And I said, "Oh, can I come to the lady there with the scarf?" And the lady behind him was going, and I thought, no, and I thought, I didn't mean you, the lady with the scarf. So I went to this lady, and it was like, no. And I felt like I wanted to say, did you just come in to get out of the cold? You know, because you're welcome to that as well. So anyway, again, I'm trying to give her things. Then the other lady, so there's two ladies going. At the end, the lady came up to me and she said, "I could take some of what you said, but I'm very new to this, and I'm worried that I'm going to get something I don't want to hear. I'm worried that I'm going to get bad news. I'm worried that I'm going to get a telling off." But she said, "I appreciated the fact that you stayed with me." She said, "Because in the past, and I'm sure this made the others blush, in the past, people have just like, oh no, avoid this lady." She said, "I felt them almost saying, avoid this lady." And when they went, the two ladies come up to me and said, "Oh, we didn't mean to put you off." I said, "No, you didn't put me off, but you interfered with the balance of things. It's not your place to say what this lady needs or what this person should take away." And the funny thing was, that lady started coming very regularly, and she felt that she could, because she was allowed to go through what she had to go through. You, or in this case me, picked up the fact that I still need to link with her, I still need to give her something. Even if you say no all night, I'm still going to give you that. But for somebody else to take on and say, "Oh no, don't work with this one, she's awkward." Well, I'm sorry, but part of this job is working with awkward people. You know,
both sides of life.
well, that's right. That is totally right. I mean, you always get the soul comes in. It's like, give me a little bit more on that. Well, they should be able to take that. No, yeah, but just give me a little bit. No, she should be able to take that. And then somebody will say to you, "Oh, can you give me their name?" "I'm not giving them my name. They should know who I am." I say, "Oh, okay."
I actually had this in a communication, and I kept going back to my communication saying, "I need some more, I need some more." And I went in my mind, why is this so slow? And on God's honest truth, the response was, "I didn't like your sort of people when I was on the earth." And I went, "Oh, right, okay, great, I've got a homophobic spirit. Great, hey!" But it was actually part of the evidence, because I said this lady was quite intolerant of people that didn't fit into the norm. And she went, "Oh, God, yes." And I said, "She hasn't changed." Seriously, she has not changed. But, yeah, Roy, that was brilliant. Thank you.
I'm sorry for the clairvoyance that came in, but
No,
it's just
no,
like I just couldn't do it. And it was the way the gentleman kept walking behind the boy, and kind of just like putting his hand on his shoulder, just like doing that. And then he went to you as if to say, "You're not spooked, are you?" No.
No,
You'll be doing this one day.
you wait.
You'll be telling everybody else how to do
You
it.
wait until that happens.
I was going to say this is a young man going on 40.
He's a very old soul.
Yeah, going on 40.
That to him.
That doesn't mean I'm making you older than what you are. You've still got to finish school.
I'm doing A-levels in physics.
You got what in physics?
A-levels in physics.
Out of my league. I thought physics was psychic. Until they told me I was dyslexic.
Yeah, it's complicated.
So you like working things out.
Yeah.
You like experimenting. You like adding this to that and that to this to see how it works.
Brilliant.
Good credentials, isn't it?
Yeah, you're not getting the
Good
chemistry set
credentials.
though.
And to anybody else, as I say, that's going through Circle, if you get an opportunity to come up here, you know, hopefully with somebody like Lawrence, or maybe somebody else will allow you to work with them, take the opportunity,
Even if
because
it's just to sit up
Yeah.
here.
yeah,
Because
because
this isn't everyone's natural environment, is
it's
it?
not mine.
This is, you know, standing in front of people talking isn't everybody's, you know, and we often get people, "Oh, I can do that," and get up there and they go, rabbit in the headlight time. But yeah, even if it's just to sit up here.
And don't worry about the nerves, because I shake every time I come up here, and I'm in my 50th year of doing this.
Yep.
So, you know, when people say, "Oh, you were this or you were that," and it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like that. I always feel it's like I stop-start. That's what I feel. But other people say, "Oh, tonight you flowed."
I think sometimes my bent on it, and this is the most commonest thing people say is, I always get so nervous. And I said, well, instead of making that a negative thing,
Positive energy.
make it a positive. Say, great, I'm nervous. That means spirit's close.
Exactly.
Yeah, because even before the Sunday morning, and I mean, Christ, I've been doing Sunday services and all the services here for nearly 4 years now. But even before the services, when I'm chairing, as the lovely people who support the church will attest, I get a little bit sensitive, would we say? Would you agree? Yes. And it's taken a while to get that over, and I'm not being malicious, it's just because I'm getting sensitive. But when you are in that sensitive state, somebody can say something and it's like a kick in the chakras. But it really does, it really does. So yeah, don't think nerves and all that are detrimental, because actually just turn it into that positive and just say good. I always feel if I'm working from the philosophy, I'm down here in my solar plexus, it's a really strong energy and I want to be talking down there. But when I'm working mediumistically, it's up here. And I always describe it like a bird in a cage energy. It's a fluttering energy. But yeah, work with your energies all the time. Just notice that.
And nerves are good,
Yeah.
because that means you're not getting up there saying, "I'm the best," you know, and allowing the ego to come in. And
How many in the audience tonight? We had somebody many years ago who used to do that. How many in the audience today? And you just think, really? Didn't last very long. And a lot of the top mediums have said the same thing. They got taught a lesson by spirit. They got a little bit cocky and they stood up there and nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And then you got the other. Then you got the other extent, haven't you, where people are like not very nice, shall we say?
Mm-hmm.
They're all right for the 2 minutes they're up here, but when they're out doing, they're not very nice. And people will say, "Why is it that it's not taken away from them when they're doing this? Why is it that it's not taken away from them? They do this, they do that, they're ripping people off on the side. Why is it not taken from them?" Well, because you've all got free will, and what he's doing is creating his history by saying, "Hey, at that part of my life I wasn't very good. I didn't use this for what I should have used it for. I wasn't there for the people that needed it." And I find when you were talking about the nervousness, you know, when you open the front door in the winter, that blast of energy comes, you just suddenly, whoa. That's what I feel when I walk up here. So I can be nervous, and as soon as I get up here and get that as well, it gets even worse. It gets even worse. And yeah, you know, you would think, well, you've been doing it this amount of time, you wouldn't get that. But ego to me is what they used to call edging God out. And I have my own beliefs in my God. And I'm a great believer that it's edging God out. You're getting more towards working with yourself rather than working with the spirit world.
Yeah, you've got to keep that triumvirate going. Spirit, you and the sitter, and keep that energy flowing. Because the minute you're cutting out one or the other to show yourself off, yeah, you can probably get away with it for, you know, I'm just seeing now, I don't want to be on social media, but unfortunately I need to be for the sake of the church. And some of the posts in the morning, I sit there and go, and I have to go, let it go, it's nothing to do with you. Seriously, this is nothing to do with you. That's their past, it's not your past. Keep your bloody nose out, Savile, you know, and just let them do. Let them do.
When you connect with spirit, because when I'm healing someone, I just feel like it's come through like that. So I'm not even. It's nothing to do with me. It's not.
Spot on.
Well, you're the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Conduit channel.
You're the porthole.
And is that how it is with?
Well, that's the way it should be with everybody.
Mm.
When you connect with
Yeah, when you start saying, "Oh, this is me," it's not you. You can't work without those energies, and you are working with a more we'll call it a more superior being for those energies that you're using. And do you know what? Healing is the purest part of energy, because the intention is all to give love and help, and that's the purest part of it. You know.
Same with mediumship, when you get messages, it's through you, it's not about you.
Yeah, I mean, we all experience things in different ways.
Okay.
It's certainly never about you
No.
or me or Lawrence. It's never that, because you are just a tool. Sounds right, doesn't it? Sorry,
Yeah.
maybe I
Thanks,
shouldn't have
Rob.
put it that way. But
Please come back to the church and be insulted again.
you are the instrument. You are the instrument, should I say? You know, and just like when we were talking about trance, it goes on, but I'm still there. But I'm not having a say, because I'm bypassed. You know, but never worry about it flowing through. That's lovely to have that feeling that it's not that you're not in control, but somebody's in control for you.
When you're healing, it's a very passive energy. And the way you just described it to me is actually where I encourage healers to get to, where you are out of it. It's nothing to do with you. All right? You are passing it on. It is nothing to do with you. When you're talking about the evidential, when you're talking about messages, that becomes then an active energy. But this is when Spirit will use everything we see, and I've started doing it more and more now. I've gone to the gym. Can't you tell?
Was it closed?
Don't pay him, Pauline. But even on the gym now, I've started using these. You can have a film of when you're cycling of different areas, and I'm looking at like the cars and the buildings and the different layout, and I'm taking that in because I'm working on building my toolbox up. Because we walk around, don't we, with our eyes shut. You know, we leave home, go to the shop, come back. What have we actually registered consciously? Not a lot. But when you're working with your mental mediumship, you want to be looking at things and going, oh, that's an oak tree, I recognise the leaf. That's a pine tree. Just
Paying
daft
attention.
things like that. Yeah, you're paying attention. Because when you're consciously taking that in, then the Spirit will use those images to bring forward some things of evidence. That's why some mediums don't mesh with some people. Roy could probably sit there and give you a brilliant reading, and I could sit there and just go, because our frame of reference is totally different. So, you know, to work with that and just remember that healing is passive. So that's why I always say to the healers, you do not give messages when you're doing healing, because if you are in the wrong state. Okay? And people say, well, I don't agree with that. And I say, okay, well, the day you see a medium stepping off a platform halfway through giving messages and give healing, tell me what you think of that. Yeah? You're working in two different energies. But going back to what you were saying there about the difference, this is why we call it mental mediumship, because Spirit are they're going through your filing cabinet of your mind and throwing up images, all right? Because we have this thing that Spirit will tell us everything, and Spirit will show us everything. Unless you are really, really, really working so hard to get into that state, which is almost into a trance state. That's not going to happen, but they're going to use what you know. You'll get a scent. Oh, gosh, yeah, Swarfiga. Oh, this guy was into engineering and everything, because I can smell the Swarfiga. That's right, yeah. That's not been given to me by Spirit. Spirit have just prompted that memory forward to enable me to build that story. So that's the difference. But always remember that. Healing is passive. Healing, keep your nose out. All right? Just stand there, through. That's all you need to do. Mental mediumship, active. You are actively engaged, but not actively engaged where you activate your mind. I used to hear, think of nothing and then listen to spirit, and
Yeah.
you go,
Think of nothing. Yeah.
okay, how's that work? It
Focus.
takes time,
Focus.
and I can't explain it. I now understand what people were saying to me 10 years ago, but I'm now in that place where I can't explain it, but I know what they mean. Because the minute I activate, as you know, I'm quite a robust character, I think, if we put that
Who
nicely.
told you that?
I don't know. Everybody. And we do get people at times who want to be the star of the show when you go to them. I'm working really, really hard now on not activating my mind and just going, you know what? You want to take this message over? Come on then. Yeah, and because then I'm in my head and I'm not listening. All right? So it is listening to the spirit world, ignoring your own thoughts, your own feelings about people, because it's none of your business. Their life is nothing to do with you. They're going to walk out the door. You're never going to see them again. Whoopie-doo. But just letting that flow.
But also remember, there's nothing wrong with having one of those yes
Oh yeah.
moments.
Tears.
There's nothing
Yes.
wrong with that.
We're all sadists.
When
Tears.
you're thinking of
Yay!
something or you're working with somebody and the most obnoxious thing comes out, not rudely, but it's just like, that's no way I'm giving that, that's really weird. And you give it, and it's like they go, oh my God,
Yeah.
I can't believe you gave me that, I've never told anybody else. And your spirit's world is going, just keep going, but you want to go, yes, yes, yes. And because we need to be patted on the back as well, we need that healing from the
Yeah.
spirit world where we're working. We still need that guidance. The guide that I work with, he's got a good sense of humour, but he does like things done there and then. Don't do a bit now and come back and do that. Let's do this now. Let's get this done properly. And you know, I've several times when I've been going home in the car and I've been going, yes, oh, thank you so much for that. That really picked me up now, you know. And it's just like, almost like they're looking at you as if say, I'm sorry, I don't understand where you are. And it's just like, but you don't understand why I'm so excited. You had a job to do, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But then he'll catch you out in another way, and you'll be given something, and he'll give you something that will make you laugh that you shouldn't be thinking about. But it's just his way. Do you know you're doing this? Do you know you're doing that? Oh God, am I doing that? You know, maybe I'm not sitting up there, somebody scratching their bottom or doing that all the time. Do you realise you're doing that? And you don't. You don't half the time. But those punch in the air moments. Do you know what? If you deserve a pat on the back, give yourself a pat on the back. The spirit world are doing it really with their love. The spirit world are doing it with the amount of times they come back and give you that. And to remember that every one of us is psychic. Every one of us has the opportunity to connect with the spirit world, to work up here, to work private on their own, but just to have that connection of their own with mum, dad, granddad, whatever it is, it's healing, it's loving, it's natural, but use it, you know. And I'd like to see one or two of you up here, even only just for the one time you might want to come up here. Just so you can say, I've done it.
But that is the foundation of all our work, is healing. Everything.
It's connected with everything. You
Yeah.
can't take it out of the equation, can you?
Healing comes out in the philosophy, comes out in healing, comes out in the evidence, comes through in trance addresses. There is always that thread of healing. There is always that thread of healing there. Anyone got any questions? No, they all know it all.
Oh, God,
Brilliant.
I want a
Yay.
coffee. I want a coffee.
Oh, there's always one. Yes, darling.
So you said about raising your chakras by sort of being positive and things like that. I mean, are there other ways? So just like meditating?
Yeah, meditating, music.
Yeah.
Music is good, but we all know that sometimes we're just so fat we just want to turn the music on.
Yeah.
And as soon as we turn the music on, it's like we go,
Feel better.
yeah. Your breathing is a very important part, you know, because just like we were saying, when people say to you, breathe, breathe, you know, you've been involved in an accident, it's like, breathe, breathe, you know. I can remember as a child having asthma, and they used to say to me, just breathe, just breathe. Well, with asthma, you can't breathe out. People think you can't breathe in, but you can't breathe out. So people say, breathe, breathe. I think if I take any more in, I'm going to explode. I want to be able to get it out. That's anxiety that comes through. So that can be a negative. So you have to overcome that. But music, meditation, anything that basically makes you feel good, that you can go and say, do you know what? You know, I really enjoyed tonight at Paul. Oh, it wasn't the chat, it was just the coffee. You know, but if something is making you feel good, then say, do you know what? I've lifted myself today. And when you meditate, and when you work with others, and when you use your prayer and send things out, again, you're using that energy, but you are creating that bubble around you. So any negativity comes after you've filled yourself with positivity is going to deflect. It's going to bounce off you. Just to you know, we all think, well, I want to ask that question, but it sounds daft. You know, I was one of the worst.
I was just going to ask, because I heard you mention guides a lot. Is that, my mum used to say guardian angels. Is that kind of like the same?
You can call it your guardian angel.
Like term for it? Is that
Yeah.
You could call guardian angel,
Yeah.
watches everything that you go through.
they're
And
with you all the time? Are they the guides?
Yeah.
They
there's
will change.
yeah. The way I see it, though, and I know that there'll be other people that will say, no, it doesn't work like that. I was taught from Spirit that there's one guide.
Yeah.
Many helpers, but one guide. This guide is going to be from before you touch the earth till after you leave the earth. And they will not tell you what to do, but they will work with you to get the finest out of you and to help you feel that you're doing something in this world, that you're a part of the world, you know, that you do have what everybody else has. And then you'll get the part where you might be doing something that's not quite right, and this guide will guide you and literally say to you, don't do it that way. Don't do it that way. And you'll probably walk away thinking, do you know what, I didn't want to do it that way anyway. It's the way I thought I had to do it. Guides are brilliant. They can either be in your face, sorry, they can either be all over you, you know, telling you this, or they can be like, where are you? I would like a word. And it's like, okay, we're at the bar, you know, or wherever they go. But yeah, the guides are a big part. They're there from the beginning to the end.
And they don't have to be related?
No. There's no reason why a relative can't be with you through your life to the end of your life. There's no reason at all. But with a guide, I feel they have that elevation of knowledge and strength and energy that we sometimes need to be passed on to us when we're working or when we're learning. I just love the feeling with them, you know, and the little quips that come in when you do something wrong, when it's just like, did he really say that?
Yeah. It's
You
almost
know,
short, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like,
they just say a one-liner, and you
I think, oh God, I've done that wrong. I can actually hear plonker,
Yeah.
you know. But that term would never have been in his time.
No.
You know, a lot of us work with different levels of guides, different levels, depending on what we need and how we can be taught. That's the way to think of it. So whether you feel your guide there or not, they're there. They're watching and they're helping you to deal with what you need to deal with. And they're, of course, always there as well when you get evidence from the rostrum, because they'll be up there helping your loved ones to come through.
Up here.
Oh, sorry, yeah, on
That's
stage.
what you, when you
On
said that word.
stage,
Stage, right?
yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I used to say on stage all the time, and one or two people used to say to me, "It's not the flipping Sunday night at the London Palladium," you know. But that's how it feels sometimes. You know, so I've got to get used to saying rostrum. But they can work up here with your loved ones coming in. You know, when we're talking about the energies, people don't realise when we work, and it works in so many different ways. But as the energy fills the hall, and those loved ones coming, and their energy surrounds the medium, whoever is allowed, shall we say, to come in, for want of a better word, that person will come to you, that energy will be around you, so we can kind of go, oh, we're in that area or with that person. So then they will come back to us and be a part of the circle again, protecting, make sure nobody comes in and gives you a message that you shouldn't get because it's coming from a stranger or something like that. So your loved one will be there making sure that you get the information that you need at that time just like the pushy one that came in. Sorry, didn't mean that. Pushy one that came in earlier on, and I'm sure that all the way through he'd have been, pushing me in one way or another, and ahhing. You know, can I just tell him a story?
Yeah, do.
When we're talking about,
You're not on a meter, you're on a fixed fee.
That's
You
okay.
carry on, mate.
when we're talking about people coming in and giving messages and acknowledging the person that's coming in, as I say, I work with my guide. Who's next? So and so and so and so. Okay. Any idea where I'm going to go? And so the soul will come to you. I'm with you. Then they'll come back to me. And I remember working in Canada. And I was working in this hall. And I was working with several people. And this lady's voice came through. And the energy she used, it was just like, it was out loud. I thought everybody in the room could hear it. That's honestly how loud it was. And I went, excuse me, I'm working. And this lady come closer, and I could feel it again. It's like I was being pushed off out of the way. And I said, do you mind? And I'm saying, can somebody help me with this, please? And then the lady said, I want to talk to my daughter. And it was that clear. And I thought, I'm looking at everybody going, well, come on, somebody say, wow, we can hear that. But obviously they couldn't. So anyway, so I said, I'm sorry, I'm working, you have to take it to her. So we carried on, one or two more people, and she came back. I want to talk to my daughter. Okay, so I said, is somebody going to let this lady go? But it was like, no, she's got a right to be here. She's just got to wait her turn. So we went through, and by the time we got to the end of the evening, there was no time for questions because people wanted to go. It was a late evening. And people would come up and they would say hello and everything else. And these two ladies came up to me. And one of them said to me, I owe you an apology. So I said, I don't know you. Why do you owe me an apology? And she said, I think you had my mother. So I said, oh, why didn't you put your hand up? She said, no, it was the lady that came in and said she wanted to speak to her daughter. So I said, okay, fill me in. She said she was always very domineering. There was no such thing as waiting in line. She had to be at the beginning of the line. And I remember this lady also, the last moment she pushed in, she said out loud to me, well, why did she come here if she didn't want to talk to me? So this lady said, oh, and you said to me about her saying why didn't, she said, I didn't want to stand up. She said, because I didn't really want to talk to her. So I said, well, out of interest, I said, it's quite true what she said. If you didn't want a connection, why did you come here? And her friend said, that's down to me. She did not want to come. She said, I treated her to the ticket. She said, telling her she'll only get love and light and positive messages. And she said, obviously, then you got her mum. And it's like the lady said to me, well, I'm really sorry, she said, but that's why I came. Because she said, if she'd not paid for the ticket, I wouldn't have come. Because she was so worried about this dominating mum coming in and taking over, which she tried to do. But my guide was saying, yeah, we'll push him a little bit more, see how he does. But I wasn't having it. I was saying to my guide, sort this out. But you see, they come in out of the blue, like the gentleman earlier, they come in out of the blue, and if they want to be recognised, they will be recognised in one way or another. I often wonder sometimes if they can't get through to their own, whether they interrupt them reading that you're giving to somebody else, and they give them information, and then the person says, no, don't know what that is. And then somebody over the back says, I could take that, I don't know how you got it, but I could take that. Because somebody pushed in and said, I'll give the information, and then it'll end up over there. So you have to be a bit of a referee, really, sometimes, don't you?
But it just goes to show the intelligence of spirit.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, very quickly, I just need to finish this little bit, thank you. The intelligence of spirit, we keep using that phrase. You know, we do, in the great part, have this bit of a naive view that when people pass over, they just sit there and they don't do anything. And they're just sort of like waiting for the opportunity to talk, to pick up the thread from when they left the earth. That's really not the case. That's really not the case. They are active, they're doing things, they're engaged in things. However, they still keep that trait, because otherwise they wouldn't be recognised for evidence. You know, we've all got people that, other side of life, I've got people, don't come to me, I'm not into, I didn't want to listen to you on the earth, and I'm certainly not going to listen to you just because you're dead. But they will come through with that trait. So like Roy was saying with this pushy woman, to get that identification, she wanted to talk, but the sitter didn't actually want to hear from them. I was to say that's a really good example of the intelligence spirit. You know, we like to be in control. I've got news.
Yeah, good news for that. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Oh no, you're not. Spirit will come and say things. Yes, darling.
I was only going to ask, when you're receiving messages from Spirit and you're talking to the person it's for, does it get confusing if they're talking to you while you're trying to tell the person the message that's coming through?
Yeah.
How do you balance
Well,
it all out?
sometimes I can work quite fast.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can work quite fast. Sometimes I literally have to say to them, "Slow down. I've got to breathe. I've got to breathe." But that's the way they just want to get the information out. Usually, the only time you get that is if you are not concentrating on what you are doing and you are basically, shall we say, leaving the door open. So somebody in the queue comes in alongside this one, and you can get that. You can get information from both. But generally, it's at a nice pace. And it is a case of listen, talk, listen, talk. Occasionally you'll say something, and sometimes they'll even speak over you. Sometimes they'll say, "No, you got that wrong. You said it wrong." So then you have to go back and say, "I think I've just been told I've said it wrong, blah, blah, blah," and then it will be corrected. This is where your spirit guides and your helpers and everything, they are there, they are the doormen, shall we say. They are there to try and make sure that nothing goes awry. But you do get people come in, and some people, like they were on the earth, they seem to think that they've got to talk and get everything in 1 minute. It's like, whoa, and you start missing things. And I've had it before where I've missed bits. I've got in the car to go home, and somebody's even said to me, "You didn't give all my message." It's like, okay, what are you doing in my car? We're finished.
It's
Well,
fiver a mile.
you didn't give it.
Carry
You
on.
didn't give me all the message, you know. But they have to work with us. We have to work with them, and there has to be a balance. And the balance is very important, you know. And when we're working with those in the spirit world, there's those mediums that will stand up here and go, "Belong to the cricket club." Then there can be a big pause. Oh, he was married to the lady, blah, 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 and you're passing this information on. The way to work and get good communication is to work with them, encourage them, give them examples. You know, oh, so-and-so used to play cricket, and then he goes quiet. You don't want that quiet space because you've got things to do. So I will say to them, "Okay, where was the link with the cricket then? Was that with you or was that..." So they say, "Oh yeah, that was with my nephew, but we used to go to watch him." He's saying that he used to go to watch his nephew cricket, and then gradually they will pick up where you know, from where they were now speaking at all, to be able to flow. And we have to remember, some of these people are coming in for the first time. We have to give them a bit of encouragement. We have to give them a little bit of healing as they come in. You know, people are going to come and go, "Oh, what do I do? What do I do?" And they'll be told from the spirit world, "Okay, listen, I can feel your personality. Give them the feeling of your personality. How do I do that?" You know, and sometimes you will get a gap, but those in the spirit world, and with you working and talking to those coming in, make it a conversation. How awkward is it if you go up to the bus stop and you go, "Raining today," the other person goes, "Yep." And then you go back to where you were. But if you say, "Yeah, we've had a bit of this week, haven't we?" Then the other person's going to go, "Yeah, it wasn't too bad on Tuesday." Suddenly you've got communication. It's the same with the spirit world. Encourage them. Give them the love and say, "Boy, you're welcome." But make it condense it. I can't go through your whole story, you know. So if you're feeling confused, you just say to the governor or whoever's working with you, "Can you please sort this out because I can't control this." But you know, normally it's just like talking to you now. We can do it at our pace, and then there'll be a stage where you say, "Anything else?" "No, I don't think so." "Okay." Suddenly there's somebody else in there, and you carry on. And it's the same when they're talking to you, and you're thinking, "Where's that coming from? That's not me. I know that's from the spirit world." And sometimes they will go on and on and on and on, and you think, oh God, it's just like they're filling my head with stuff and I can't take it. Again, you've got to say, well, I've had enough. Well, calm this down, or goodbye for now, and they will hopefully adjust to the way you work. It's balance again. You can't get away from that balance.
Right.
Okay, sorry.
And getting their thoughts to be your thoughts.
Yeah.
Not like, because we're not all clairaudient. Most of us are more clairsentient. We just get the feelings, the emotion, when spirits say, oh, and they're giving you their love. We're not hearing, say, oh, give them my love.
It's emanating it.
We know what that emotion is. And we are translating that then into words that the sitter will understand. But again, you're having that conversation, and you do learn to balance that. And Roy just said something quite pertinent about people coming through for the first time. You do see it quite often. A medium will say, this is the first time they've come through, because you can feel that, I don't know what I'm doing.
It's like cautiousness.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. What do you want me to do now? And you can feel that and you can sense that. But again, that's part of the evidence as well.
It is,
but
because they might be shy when they're on the earth.
Yeah, if I get somebody walk through and stand there and not say anything, that says to me, oh, this person, I come in the room, ta, here I am, and other people just slide in. And this person was one of the slide-ins. They would be, because just that silence tells me, it starts to paint the picture and build that conversation. But I always say to people, when you get up and work on the platform, especially when you're new, is just to start talking. I will often do it before my mediumship. Those of you who have seen me working know that what I'm doing now is I'm just talking, because as people are drawing close to me, and because I'm talking, then the words will change. The words will start to flow in. If I stand there and go, suddenly I've created this silence, and my physical mind is going, whatever you're going to say, it better be bloody good, because you've just created this awesome silence. And so your physical mind is then engaged. So I always say to people, when you're starting off, just start talking, just say, hello, it's lovely to be here. Don't put yourself down, oh, we're probably going to get this wrong, because you will. Lovely to be here, thank you. Yeah, I can feel your love, thank you. Oh yeah, and as I'm talking here, I can just feel a lady drawing close to me to talk to you. And you just explore that conversation, but it is coming through. It's coming through your mind. That's why it's mental mediumship, not because we're just mental.
No,
as well.
Bring that in as well, yeah. Bring that in as well. But you say that with people new, and I know time's running on, but I can actually remember a young man coming in that had passed fairly quickly. I think it was something to do with hit the back of a car on his motorbike and went, and he'd only been over a very short time. But it was just like somebody coming up to the mic, and it's not like you get that or anything like that. but I could hear him saying, "What do I do? Yeah. How do I do this?" And I thought, okay, somebody's trying to give him encouragement. So then you've got to acknowledge them. Then they kind of go, "Whoa, I can hear him," and suddenly I can hear, and it's like, and then they go away with that same moment. Yes. Yeah. And it's the same feeling as when you get your very first excellent, shall we call it, reading. When somebody comes to you for the very first time and you hear things, you think, how the hell does they know that? You go away so elated. So do they. So do they. I've even had one come back, so I'm not talking about interfering, where you're working with somebody, they've already had their say, they go away, and then you go to another lady or another gentleman, that person comes back in and you think, something not quite right here. And they'll say something and they'll, no. And the person that I just talking to was like, I think you're still with me. And you go, well, excuse me, you're not supposed to do that. And in my mind was this lovely joke of being at the end of the queue and running to the front, getting sent back, running to the front of the queue. He'd got such a buzz from being able to connect, from hearing that person on the earth answering them as what he was saying. He got such a buzz. He just would, he would have come in with anybody. He could have given a load of old rubbish over here because they don't know him, but he's still going, yeah, this is great. This is great. You know, I don't need my motorbike for these thrills. You know, but...
Yeah, because never forget, you know what it's like when you get a message, and especially when you get that message, which means the world to you. How do you think the spirit person feels giving that message?
And you've
They
allowed
feel
that.
exactly the same.
You've
You know,
helped them.
they've hit on that. You know, again, our frames of reference are all different, but they found that opportunity through that medium that can best pass on that message, pass on that love correctly. And we will continue to do it. As I said, you know, you'll see a fish and you start talking about a cod and they're going, what the hell are you talking about? But if you just said, I'm seeing a fish, they would have gone, yeah, that was their surname. But you've lost that because you said, oh, fish, oh, it's a cod. So you've lost that bit. So when that spirit person gets that message across, it means as much to them as it does to you receiving it. Remember that, because that's really important.
And you'll find, and I don't know how this works, and I'm sure it must have happened to you and many, many other people, but sometimes you'll pick up somebody and you've obviously forgotten that you worked with this person 2 years ago, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And whoever it is will come and give what they wanted to say, and then the person will come up to you after and say, it's only you who brings my dad through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every time I come here, my dad comes through. Or if I come see you, my dad comes through. If there's any other medium here, and that's not being
Yeah.
negative to
Yeah.
anybody, you know, and they say, and I think it's because underneath you, you've got this real cheeky side. And you know it's there, but you're being very polite in what you do. And I'm sure my dad knows that you're a bit on the cheeky side, so he can say a few things that maybe he wouldn't be able to say with a lady medium. And that's lovely, because you don't know that person come through 2 years ago. So they remember you as much as you remember the best and the worst.
And again,
If
that
somebody
brings
comes
in tonight's topic nicely to round the
I
night
suppose
off
it does, yes.
about energy. Your energy resonates really well with that person, that spirit person's energy. You know, I always say this, I don't go down the route of saying there are evil people. I go down the route of saying there are many uneducated people, both sides of life. And when we get people, like we were talking about the bus stop, oh, I like you, and oh, Christ, I don't like you, doesn't automatically mean they're wrong.
No.
They may be wrong in our eyes, but we just don't gel. And that's exactly the same as when we're working with spirit. I had a lovely little example. I was working with a lady, and it was a mother, and the lady was being particularly cantankerous about things, and I'm stood there trying to shut my mind up for biting back. I thought, no, don't do that. And as I thought that, the mother said she always was a bitch when I was here, and I went, oh my God, I'm in the middle of a feud. All right, now I know why we're going on here. But that is genuinely what was said. But once she said that to me, I was able to adjust my energies to understand more of, yeah, actually the antagonism you're displaying isn't to me, it's because your mother's here. And you're just keeping that fire going. That's fine, you carry on, pair of you, leave me out of this. But anyway, thank you all for coming. Thank you, Roy.
My pleasure. Thank you. It's always lovely to work with like-minded people, always.
Yeah, and it's good for us as mediums as well, isn't it, to get away from the demonstration. Yeah,
Yeah.
at times to get out of the demonstration and to be able to talk. Next week, because we've got an extra Wednesday this month, we've got a special. We've got Stephen Mager from Portsmouth. He's going to be talking about the 7 principles, and I can hear people going, oh. Seriously, don't, because he's done some amazing background and digging work with this. Stephen's got a very young mind, not like us. We get, you
No,
know, we
no,
walk in the
The
kitchen
dust
and go,
is up there now.
yeah, why am I in the kitchen? I've got no idea. But he's got a very educated mind, and he really goes, and there's some fascinating similes throughout history of different arcane things about the Seven Princes. It's going to be really interesting. I'm not explaining it very well, but it is going to be a very interesting night. So thank you, Stephen. We look forward to seeing you again. And this again will be shared with all our friends online. And then we're coming into the Christmas programme. The new newsletters are available. The website is up to date. We were very fortunate. A lovely person donated the Christmas raffle to us. So if you want to buy any tickets, please do. This is a genuine conversation. Are you doing a raffle? No, I hate them. Oh, 2 days later, a raffle turned up. I went, oh, okay, we're doing a raffle. Oh, fine, thank you. So we've got a wonderful Christmas raffle up there. All proceeds going to the church. Board over there, we've got everything that we are buying in to support us opening on Christmas Day lunch, to serve a meal, and it's an open invitation. Anybody who's alone or feeling a bit isolated, don't be. All right, I've done it. I've sat at home on my pride, all on my own on Christmas, and I hated it. I hated it. All right, I proved, well, I did prove one thing, but I'm a complete, I can't think of the right word for mixed company, but it's, I can see
Just
one.
drawing a just drawing a breath there.
Yeah, it's what you open the door with.
Oh, handle.
Yeah, well, right, yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. Yeah, so seriously, don't be, all right? It's just going to be a good day. It is going to be a dry day. This is simply because there's a lot of people coping with addictions, all right? And so, yeah, we've got to be mindful of that. But you're more than welcome. We'd love to see you. All right? So, thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh. They'll all sleep tonight.
Yeah.
But we do forget to say from up here sometimes, thank you for your energies. Because it makes a hell of a difference.